Oh, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm clairjoyance. If we haven't already met, I'm an author and small publisher committed to changing the world for the better through inclusive stories and practices. And I'm jumping on today to continue my self-publishing author series where I go over how to write, publish, and start selling your book in a year in 52 weeks. If you're joining me, please like, comment, share below. Let us know that you're here. And today we're going to continue with editing your third draft to make sure that we can dive deep into polishing our manuscripts. So if you're interested in the full rundown of what I'm discussing today, please check out my self-published author 52-week planner. All the details are at linktr.ee/clairjoyance. And this week, this episode, we are officially heading into the last quarter of the year for the 52-week schedule. And this is the very juicy point in the schedule, and hopefully your plate is filled to the brim with marketing, managing your team, and setting up the required back-end business structures, as well as, everything else that's going on in your life right now. So luckily, we actually get to dive back into the juice that keeps this whole machine running this week, your writing. So now you should have some feedback and suggestions from your beta readers and editor to incorporate into your second draft. And this is going to create your third draft, and that is what we are going to be focusing on this month for the next 4-ish episodes. So I recommend focusing on one set of edits at a time, starting with your editor's edits, instead of juggling multiple manuscripts at the same time. Because there will be conflicting feedback between readers and editors and readers and readers. So you will typically want to weigh your editor's suggestions more so than your beta readers' suggestions. They are professionals for a reason. So this is why creating those separate copies in the first place is super important. You may edit a section based on your editor's feedback, but then receive an amazing suggestion later on from a beta reader, but you won't be able to find the now deleted section in your updated manuscript unless you have those separate copies to reference. So you can go back to the other version to reference it that you had written previously. So first and foremost, I want you to glance through all of the edits you've received, all of the suggestions you've received, and look for themes and trends. This is purely surface level. So do not start deleting or changing anything at this stage. Are most of your edits and suggestions grammar and diction related? Are they about structure and character development? Or are there certain chapters or sections that have more edits than others? You're looking for themes and trends here. And this is going to add more data to your improvements list. So remember when we started looking for training and education opportunities in week 29, episode 29? These edits are going to give you more insight into where you can improve your writing skills. So this is going to be very important data for you as a writer if you want to improve your writing later on and improve your writing as you go through these drafts. So the themes and trends of the edits and suggestions are going to point you in the right directions for this. I also want you to look at the comments and see if there are any passages, sentences, or phrases that your editor and or beta readers absolutely loved. So my readers liked to comment on my manuscripts, various asides throughout, saying things like, love this line, or screaming, or cute, or so romantic, love it. These are very positive feedback. And so we will strategically be using these comments in week 50 or episode 50. So for now, I want you to either screenshot or copy and paste them, as well as the lines that they're in reference to, into a separate document for future reference. We're going to title it Excerpt Comments so that we can find it easily later on. These are the golden marketing nuggets. So just kind of gather them and keep them for future use. So second, I want you to start addressing the edits that are easy fixes. So adding commas, deleting semicolons, capitalizing proper nouns, and turning ellipses into em dashes, and vice versa, are low-hanging fruit when it comes to editing. This is going to be a very helpful thing to reduce the amount of overall edits you have if you get rid of those first, or address those first. Then you will dive into the trickier, more in-depth edits. This is where you really need to consider the individual words, sentences, paragraphs, dialogues, sections, or chapters that were marked by your beta readers and editor. So some folks like to address these in chronological order from start to finish, but I recommend also using a prioritization system here. Start with the edits that are easier fixes, like synonyms or sentence structures, moving the clause somewhere in the sentence, that kind of simpler stuff. Start with those edits that are easier, and knock those out first, because you need to try to tackle those sections that need more intensive reworking after you handle the easier things. Remember that your manuscript is going to get a final round of editing with your editor before it is published, so give more attention and effort to the developmental corrections instead of the minute details. So that's kind of what we're focusing on this episode. So if you're interested in learning more, because there is a lot more in my planner, go to linktr.ee/clairjoyance for all of that information. Next time, I'm going to be jumping on to talk about your second editing week for this draft to make sure that we can integrate our editors and beta readers' edits into our manuscripts. So in the meantime, please remember that you all have extraordinary stories to share, and I'm rooting for you as you use them to change the world for the better. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on Friday.